Now, the men who ran carmaker MG Rover when it collapsed have been accused of taking unreasonably large rewards. MG Rover filed for bankruptcy back in 2005, owing £1.3 billion. That's over $2 billion. The so-called Phoenix Four, who ran the company, along with the chief executive, Kevin Howe, took a combined £42 million, or about $60 million, in pay and benefits over 5 years. The Serious Fraud Office here in the UK says it won't be investigating further, but the government is taking steps to get the men banned from boardrooms.
Blame, responsibility is pinned fairly and squarely on the shoulders of the so-called Phoenix Four directors. And I must say, I think it shows real brass-neck nerve for these people today not to offer an ounce of humility or a hint of an apology, and instead try to claim that the report is some sort of whitewash.
That's right. No apology from the men. They insist their salaries weren't behind Rover's collapse. They blame the government and accuse it of bungling a chance to save the British carmaker from bankruptcy. And as you heard Peter Mandelson saying, they're calling the government's action a whitewash. Now, GM has finally agreed with Germany. It's going to back Magna to take over Opel. But could that deal translate favorably for Germany's Angela Merkel in this month's upcoming election? Philip Ents is in Frankfurt, and he has the details for us.
Angela Merkel put so much political and actual capital behind Magna's offer that any other outcome would have been a disaster for her. On Sunday, she will have to face her opponent, Frank-Walter Steinmeier, in the campaign's first TV debate. She's set to benefit from the Magna deal and is also ahead in the polls. But a bitter aftertaste remains. None of the two German members of the Opel Trust voted for the deal. Only the two American representatives from GM did. The Germans argued the rival RHJ bid made much more sense and was also less Germany-focused. The European Union has voiced already their concern. So a case of political power winning over business logic? Well, I'll leave this verdict up to the voters. I'm Philip Ents, Bloomberg News in Frankfurt, Germany.
Okay, well, from Rover and Opel to the best performer in autos today, it's Fiat, Italy's biggest car maker. John Dawson can tell us why Fiat shares have done so well today. John.
Yes, thank you, Lindsay. Fiat shares quite simply upgraded today by Credit Suisse to Outperform stance. That's the sort of story. They're restructuring their industrial. That's the sort of core industrial business, and that's the reason why Fiat shares, of course, are rising. And also, that's the Fiat 500, the new car they got out as well. The Frankfurt Motor Show is next week. Look forward to all the new launches, electrical cars, etc. But Fiat shares today really taking off. Now, let's look into the charts. You can see currently Fiat shares, there they are, top of the charts, up by 5% today, up by 10.5% for the last 2 months. And the comment from Credit Suisse today was that they were citing, and I quote these words, hidden value in the Italian company's industrial assets and improving economics in Brazil, where, of course, Fiat sells to, added, therefore, to its focus list of Credit Suisse, upgraded to Outperform stance. This shows you market valuation put in perspective for you. Volkswagen very much clearly the biggest in Europe, 44.4 billion euros. Fiat, you can see in comparison, 10.5 billion euros. Daimler there, 35.6 billion. So that shows you the comparisons there. And a final glance at this, it's the credit rating. Toyota, AA rating, Volkswagen and BMW with an A rating each. Volkswagen A-, so quite a high rating, also the biggest. That's an interesting comparison. Back to you, Lindsay.
Thanks very much, John.